So, have you ever had that light bulb moment at work? An idea you were absolutely sure was a game changer, only to watch it kind of fizzle out and disappear into thin air? It is one of the most frustrating things. Today, we're going to dig into why that happens, and we're going to use a really fascinating study by Markus Baer from the Academy of Management Journal to do it. We'll uncover the hidden forces that can kill an idea, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it.
This quote from Theodore Levitt really just says it all, doesn't it? An idea, no matter how brilliant, is basically worthless until someone puts it to use. The real challenge, though, is that the path from a great concept to a finished product is like a minefield of resistance and office politics.
And that brings us to what I like to call the idea graveyard. We've all seen it. It's that sad, lonely place where amazing solutions and breakthrough concepts go to die. So why is this graveyard always so crowded?
Well, you'd think that the most creative people, the ones always coming up with brilliant stuff, would see their ideas come to life all the time. But the research shows a surprisingly weak link between just having creative ideas and actually getting them implemented. And that disconnect, that's a huge problem for innovation.
So why do the most creative ideas seem to face the steepest uphill battle? Well, it all comes down to this central paradox. The very thing that makes an idea creative, its novelty, is also the thing that makes it so incredibly vulnerable inside a company.
To really get this, we have to be super clear on the definitions. The study draws a really bright line here. See, creativity is about coming up with ideas that are both new and useful. But implementation? That's not a creative task. It's a socio-political one. It has less to do with how brilliant your idea is and everything to do with navigating people, power, and persuasion.
And this is exactly why something new can feel so threatening inside an organization. A novel idea brings risk. It brings uncertainty. It might challenge the way things have always been done or mess with established power structures. And all of a sudden, your brilliant idea isn't being judged on its merits anymore. Nope, it's being judged on how it might affect the people who have the power to say yes or no.
Okay, so are we doomed? Are creative ideas just destined to fail? Not at all. The research found two key things that can dramatically, and I mean dramatically, improve the odds of an idea making it through this whole social and political mess.
All right, the first key is all about motivation. The study calls it implementation instrumentality, which sounds super technical, but all it really means is your personal, what's in it for me. It's that deep down belief that fighting for your idea is actually going to lead to something good. A promotion, some praise, or even just that amazing feeling of seeing your idea succeed. If you don't have that drive, you're going to give up at the first sign of trouble.
And the second key? It's your social capital. Think of it in two parts. First, there's your actual skill at networking and building alliances. And second, there's the network itself, the number of strong, trusted relationships you can call on for help. These are the allies, the champions who are going to have your back and fight for your idea even when you're not in the room.
But here's the thing, and this is the really crucial insight from the study. These two keys, your motivation and your network, they don't just add up. They actually multiply each other's effect. And when you look at the data, it's really clear.
Okay, take a look at this graph from the study. See that dotted line plunging downwards? That is exactly what happens when someone has low motivation and poor networking skills. The more creative their idea is, the less likely it is to ever get implemented. This right here, this is the idea graveyard in action.
But now, look what happens to the other lines. The second you have either high motivation or strong networking skills, that downward plunge just stops. It completely flattens out. That negative relationship just vanishes. And this is the key takeaway. You don't necessarily have to be a master networker and be intensely driven. Just having one of those is enough to neutralize the resistance and give your creative idea a real fighting chance.
And check this out. This second graph shows the exact same pattern. But this time it's measuring your number of strong ties, basically your close allies, and the result is identical. If you don't have the motivation and you don't have allies, your idea is probably doomed. But having that strong belief in the outcome, or just having a few trusted colleagues in your corner, that changes everything. So, what do we do with all this? Let's translate these findings into some clear, practical advice for both you as an individual and for the organizations we all work for.
So, if you're the one with a great idea, here's your game plan. First, find your why. You have to get crystal clear on what positive outcomes are going to fuel you through all the inevitable pushback. Second, build your allies before you need them. Seriously, invest time in creating strong, trusting relationships today so that you have champions ready to go to bat for you tomorrow.
And for any managers out there, the message is this. You can't just ask for innovation. You have to build an environment where it can actually survive. That means acknowledging that, yeah, politics are part of the process. And this one is huge. You have to reward the effort to implement new ideas, not just the successful outcomes. And finally, be proactive. Help your people build their networks and skills with things like mentorship and training.
So, when you boil it all down, the ultimate takeaway from this research is that creativity all by itself is fragile. It is simply not enough. For a truly novel idea to become a real innovation, it needs a champion. Someone who is not only motivated to see it through, but is also savvy enough to build the support they need to make it a reality.